Yes, a very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. We welcome you to our news tonight, this Tuesday, the 23rd of May, 2023. We'll start with a look at the top stories that we have for you. Then Museveni hails the people of Masaka for embracing commercial farming. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, tasks Education Ministry to present a statement. NRM leaders in Machinda division stress the need to revive the party structures, while Plascon premises investment in sports hails top paint dealers. Yes, it's news tonight. Welcome aboard. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni joins in for sign language interpretation. Now, in our first story this evening, President Yoweri Museveni has visited Chesiga Green Village Farming Center, pledging support to local farmers. Accompanied by former Vice President Edward Chwanuka Sekandi, the President toured the center, which showcased coffee and pineapple plantations, nursery beds, and a solar irrigation power plant. Addressing the farmers, Museveni commended their commitment to government programs such as the Uganda Coffee Development Association and Operation Wealth Creation. He encouraged them to add value to their produce and promised to provide a center, a canter motor vehicle for transporting their yields to the market. Speaking on behalf of the farmers, Kabito James highlighted their success in coffee and pineapple cultivation. With 1,300 coffee plantations per acre, they now earn 23 million shillings annually compared to 9 million shillings using traditional farming methods. Their 40-acre pineapple plantation yields 12 million per year. Expressing gratitude for the President's visit, Kabito emphasized their goal of transforming the community from subsistence to commercial farming, and he acknowledged the impact of government initiatives, including the provision of 1,000 coffee seedlings and 20,000 pineapple seedlings. Kabito also shared the challenges faced in transportation, with 50 to 60% of profit spent on this purpose. The President's promise of a canter vehicle was met with appreciation from the farmers. The people of Greater Masaka have been challenged to identify over 500 acres of land for the establishment of an industrial park in their area. This follows the rejection of over 1,000 acres of land by the Uganda Investment Authority over environment reasons. This was echoed during a wealth creation operation drive in Masaka, where President Yoweri Museveni lauded the people of central Uganda for walking the talk in embracing commercial farming. We have details to this with Henry Okurut.
Initially, over 1,000 acres of land had been identified in Bukakata to establish an industrial park. However, only 20 acres turned out to be suitable. The rest were part of Luera ecosystem, recalling the need for environmental protection.
We even moved ahead, got some investors, got the National Environmental Management Authority, and they evaluated that land of Bukakata. It was found out that out of 1,000 acres, only 20 acres could be used for industrial development because the rest was in the Luera wetland conservation.
Some of the investors who have not started development to dry lands, because we now have unencumbered dry land in the rest of Uganda. So we'll have to move them maybe to Naibi, maybe to Kisoro, maybe we move them to Soroti, maybe
we need to do due diligence to find out where is that free public land. Is it available? Can we survey it and title it and even gazette it for the purposes of an industrial park? And I believe we can achieve it.
In our new industrial park land, as directed by the President, it has to be unencumbered. Cannot be in a swamp, cannot be in a forest reserve, or any ecologically vulnerable place. So it has to be fully unencumbered, no squatters, nothing.
This move is in line with what the head of state has been preaching against wetland encroachment, including issuance of land titles. And come in to give advice and policy guidance, but entirely the burden or the role lies on the local governments to ensure that the protected areas are protected. The arrival of the president was just on time in emphasizing the gospel of wealth creation.
Please stop the enkuyege culture. Ekyokusatu olekeraawo okukola engeri y'enkuyege. Because in Europe you will hear people like Henry Ford. Henry Ford is the one who discovered vehicles. Ebulaaya kubanga ebulaaya oyinza okusanga omuntu nga Henry Ford yazuula motoka ya Ford. He's the one who discovered the use of motor vehicles. Era yatandika okukoza amagezi ag'okukola motoka. He died long ago. Yafa dda nnyo. But the business he left is now much bigger than what he left. Naye business gye yalekawo yeekubisaamu dda emirundi mingi kusinga kiri kye yalekawo. Naye wano mu Uganda omugagga afa n'ebibye.
Museveni, who had just inspected various business and farming entities, was impressed with the progress in Greater Masaka.
And I was also watching people are drying coffee on the tarpaulins, not on the soil. Naye ate era nagenza okulaba nga ndaba abantu baanika n'emmwanyi nga bazaanika ku matundubaali nga tebakyazaanika ku ttaka jjereere. I saw only one person at Chana Mukaka who had put the coffee in the soil. Nalabyeyo omuntu omu yekka ekyanna Mukaaka ayanika emmwanyi mu ttaka. So I am very happy that it seems now in Masaka I am nsindika abalotamye. Ekinsanyusizza nti Masaka kati nsindika abasitamye.
The president also took time to explain the introduction and progress of implementation of the parish development model.
There is no registration money. Mbadde mpulirayo ensobi endala nga bagamba nti baako ssente z'osooka okusasula balyoke bakuteeke mu regisita bakuwandiike okuyingira mu nteekateeka eno tewali ssente za kwewandiisa zeetaagisa. Because this is money for our Mfunampola people, in fact not even Mfunampola, abali bweru w'ennyumba ey'okukola ssente.
He pledged support to Masaka farmers who have been exemplary.
I think here the challenge is to find out those who are still out. Kaakati awo ndowooza ekisoomoozo ekyokutusoomooza okuzuula abo abatannaba kuyingira mu kuyingiza ssente. And we help them to come into the money making. Tubayambe nabo bave mu mbeera eyo embi bayingire mu kuyingiza ssente mu nsawo. Then secondly, to consolidate the ones who are already in the money making. Ate ekyokubiri kwe kunyweza bano abamaze okuyingira mu nkola y'okuyingiza ssente abayingidde mu kwagala okukola kuno okwa ssente tubanyweze. Like for instance, the people of Kakunyu, I have promised them a solar powered water pump to pump water for irrigation.
After a vigorous engagement with the people of Greater Masaka, it was time to
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, has underscored the need for joint efforts to increase the performance of Ministry of Health. She faulted Ministries of Finance and Public Service for the challenges facing the Health Ministry, but appealed to them to consider increasing the wage bill that will address issues of human resource affecting the ministry's performance.
Ministry of Health highlights challenges like wage shortfalls, lack of human resource, inadequate medical supplies among major issues affecting service delivery in the health sector. However, the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry, Dr. Diana Atwine, says it will require joint effort to address the challenges.
Our health center, the regional hospitals are able to provide a more comprehensive services than what they are giving. But that, we cannot do this alone. We can only do this if we, together with Ministry of Public Service and Ministry of Finance, working together to make sure that the wage is prioritized to hire these specialists.
Despite the challenges associated with inadequate availability of ambulances to government health facilities, Dr. Atwine revealed that at the moment, the ministry will continue to depend on donated ambulances to communities by politicians as government identifies a solution to the menace in the long run.
That's why we came up with a policy defining what is ambulance. If the politicians are going to help us also bridge the gap by buying ambulance, they can come to us and we give them specifications, the right specifications of ambulance, then they go and buy. That one we have no problem.
Government continues to face a big challenge with the shortage of drugs in many of its facilities. However, Dr. Atwine revealed at the NRM Manifesto Week that efforts are underway to expedite the completion of a storage laboratory at the National Drug Authority in the short run to manage the safe storage of medicines.
We are soon commissioning this, and that means that the quality of medicines that are coming in the country, the capacity to deal with counterfeit is getting better and better and better.
Meanwhile, Dr. Atwine acknowledged that access to medical care in public health facilities is still hampered with gross corruption and extortions, but appealed to the vulnerable public to report cases of extortion in government health facilities to the nearest police stations.
Is attaching money to care, and you don't expose, then who is to blame? You are the corrupt. So corruption, if you are to be charged, even you who gives money should go to court and be charged.
Miriam Umcha, UBC News.
NRM leaders in Machinde Division have stressed the need to revive their party structures ahead of the 2026 presidential polls if the ruling party is to maintain victory. The concern was expressed during the nationwide mobilization drive and research survey by the NRM Secretariat to assess the progress in which the party manifesto is being implemented. The director of the NRM mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, said that the drive was an opportunity for the party to discover issues that require timely solutions by the party chairman ahead of the 2026 presidential polls.
The NRM Secretariat is on a nationwide mobilization and research survey to assess the implementation progress of the party's manifesto. During the drive, party leaders in Machinde Division expressed the need to revive the party structures from the grassroots ahead of the 2026 general elections if the party is to maintain victory.
Yes, I'm appealing the president to handle the primary of NRM issue. He knows it's a problem because last time he allowed everybody to come and vote because he saw there was a problem.
The mobilization is targeting all party structures at constituency level.
The opposition, they entered in our structures, they took some of our leaders,
now they're in their parties. We have gaps in our structures.
Here in Machindi, the strategy was embraced by hundreds. The director NRM Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, said the engagement is aimed at creating a platform for community discussion and also resolve internal contradictions, develop unity, among others.
This program is intended to identify the key issues that affect our people, as we have been guided by His Excellency the President. He elaborated very clearly what mobilization should be. It's not about singing NRM Oye. He has made it emphatically clear to us that we need to identify the needs of the people. We need to identify the key legitimate interests of our people so that we can find solutions to them. But we must not forget that we are the party that is in power with a manifesto that was appreciated by the people of Uganda. So we also need to see how far have we gone as a party in as far as implementing our manifesto is concerned.
Interacting with leaders from Machinde Division, Rosemary Seninde highlighted observations made that must be put to redress by the party chairman.
We carried out a research as a party and we discovered quite a lot of things, but we want to share with the people to see how we can work together to bring NRM glory, particularly in these areas. We are supposed to cover this program all over the country, but as we speak, we are going to start with a few because it is a phased program because of logistical issues.
Leaders in Machinde recommended all chairpersons to be given allowances, sub-counties to have circles, among others.
We came to realize that only opposition people who benefit in these NADS programs, since we have no representatives there.
The need for a skilling center was also among the top issues raised by the party leaders here. The mobilization drive and research will be conducted in phases. Phase 1 has started in Busoga, Kampala and Wakiso. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Buy Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go is for you only. Mundava. Best movies I teach you. But I'm going to put them scary because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's just you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry car.
Okakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. That thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank. Uganda Development Bank. Inspiring development.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in won't hinder. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Techno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3GB from Airtel, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100*5# to enjoy free data.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
In partnership with Techno. Stop at nothing.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. Her reason to imagine is slay. His reason is to be the GOAT. Theirs is to take the beat and make it lit. They want to test edgy until it is fire. Their reason for imagination is to add riz in style. Her reason to imagine is finesse. And hers is to find what's new and bussin'. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Thank you so much for watching and keeping it with us, UBC News Tonight. Now, in our previous story, we saw a drive ongoing of the NRM Secretariat to mobilize people and assess their performance in as far as their manifesto of the 5 years is concerned, that is 2021-26. We have the Director for Mobilization here herself, that is the Honorable Rosemary Seninde. We want to know more about this drive and what their findings are so far, what they expect. Honorable, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Briefly, we're going to look at this drive of yours. I'm told you have a countrywide tour to benchmark on the implementation and progress of the 5-year manifesto. Give us a brief background about the drive before we move on, for the benefit of the person watching us.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank the NRM supporters, the NRM leaders, and most of all, His Excellency the President, who is also the chairman of the party. First of all, I want to make it categorically clear that the President of Uganda, our chairman of the party, has always guided us on mobilization, on how we can be able to mobilize well. Because first of all, he has emphatically indicated and guided us that mobilization is not only about collecting people and singing Oye Oye and dancing Oye Oye, NRM Oye. It's about identifying the key issues that touch our people, the needs of the people, the legitimate interests of the people must be identified. And after identifying them, we need to highlight them and be able to fight for, support our people, and be able to address those concerns. And thereafter, definitely, we shall be able to attract our people to appreciate the work done by the party or done by us in order for them to support NRM. So it is from this basis that we decided to go out of our offices, go to the countryside and be able to carry out a research. We did a research in Buganda, Busoga and Kampala, first of all, because we needed to identify what exactly went wrong that made our support go down in the 2021 elections, because we all know that NRM's support was basically so strong here in the central region. As we had challenges in the north and the east, central was always a strong supporter of the NRM party. And we know central region is a springboard of political activism. So we realized that it was very important for us as a party to get out and find out, like guided by His Excellency the President, our chairman, what went wrong, what are the issues, what are the challenges of the people that we must address. So after coming up with a report, we came up with the recommendations, and out of our findings, one of them, allow me to enumerate them.
Actually, I was going there. What were your findings? Busoga, Buganda. What were your findings?
Well, first of all, I need to first point out the issues that touch us or concern the leadership within the party. We realize that our party members, particularly the leaders, and generally the party at large, we have kind of intra-party contradictions. We have contradictions within our party. But of course, that is expected of a big family like NRM. So we needed to look at that in depth. But secondly, we also realized that our party structures have always been complaining. We usually go back to them during the time of elections. And so we realized that there is a gap probably between the lower structures and probably us at the upper level. So we realized that something has to be done very, very quickly indeed. And also among the other social and political issues we discovered, and probably economic issues, one of them was also the issue of land conflicts within the central region. In Busoga, we discovered the issue of sugar canes. We also discovered the issue of the youth, because we know very well we have a very big population of the youth. And many of these youth have this perception that the government neglected them. And we have been looking at the programs that the NRM government has put in place. The programs like youth programs that have been helping our youth, the women programs, the Myoga programs, the PDM now in place, which is our flagship program. And we have been wondering, how come, although this one has just come, but before we went for elections, we were wondering, how come people still...
The youth livelihood, women empowerment.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we were wondering...
And now the PDM.
And now the PDM.
Operation Wealth Creation.
Operation Wealth Creation. So much.
All of those.
So much. The government has really done a lot. And then we were asking ourselves, why is it that people still complain about poverty and that they have not seen these things? You talk about schools, you talk about the health facilities, you talk about things that the government has done. So much the government has been able to do, even before our new manifesto of 2026 came in place. But what is the problem? So we thought it was very key. We have been able to come up with this program. It is a phased countrywide mobilization.
Something small, Honorable.
Yes.
So you realized, you looked at a number of programs that government has come up with. The youth livelihood, Operation Wealth Creation, women empowerment, then the Myoga, which is just being phasing out, which is being phased out. Then right now we have the PDM. What were your findings about what goes wrong with these programs to have people complaining? Actually, not only complaining, the problem of unemployment and poverty is still high, even when we have these programs. What were your discoveries about what goes wrong with these programs?
One of them is the attitude, the mindset.
Of who?
Of particularly our youth. You know, we have a challenge that many of our youth want quick things. Many of them, not all of them, but many of them. So as a party, we realized we need to do something beyond that. We need to help our youth to sensitize them to appreciate that it is not about quick money that will help them grow. It is about understanding what you want to do and how you will do it, and as guided and probably the opportunities around you. Number two, many of our youth may not have the skills or the skills that can enable them get jobs.
Okay.
The available jobs, the few available jobs. So that is why I want first of all to thank His Excellency the President, because of the programs that he has put in place, like the skilling programs, the skilling hubs, the regional skilling hubs that are going to help our youth to get these skills and be able to create their own jobs. Because it's not about jobs in offices, white collar jobs. Even when you go and try to do, the President from time and again has talked about jobs that people can get out of, ICT services. These services they provide, borders, caterers, all those services, and many other services that he has consistently talked about.
So how are you going to help the youth to have attitude that is positive in the line of achieving from these programs?
The good thing, what is very, very important, is that in our manifesto, all these things are clarified. Okay. Issues of skilling the youth, issues of sensitizing our people are all clarified. When you look at the PDM, it has all those components of attitude, how we can help our people appreciate and probably change their attitude towards life, and how they can be able to get out of poverty. So we need to appreciate. So one of the things that we have put in this program, the countrywide mobilization, constituency mobilization strategy, is that we don't only go to see only how we can improve our, our relationship or create unity amongst the party members, but also to look at how we are trying to improve and service delivery.
You have skipped something, Honorable. On the side of the youth, you realize there is a gap to do with attitude.
Yes.
I've talked to so many people, and that is true in its way. But on the side of the programs you present as a party in government, what are the challenges there? How perfect are the programs to sort the problems of unemployment, in their designs, in terms of implementation? The other day I was with the Honorable Kasolo, and he was saying, I'm going to arrest so and so and so and so for stealing money. Yes. Meant for there is that program he's handling, Emioga. So how are you handling the loopholes within the programs themselves?
First of all, I think I have tried to explain that.
Okay.
My dear, I must make this very clear, that when the attitude of our youth is still negative, many challenges will still come. A lot of money will still come, and they will probably sell them off. Allow me just to give a simple example. I remember when I was still a member of parliament, I came up with a program. I was providing pigs astaga fry. I was providing chicken to my youth in some of my youth groups. I had actually visited where they were going to carry out these activities. But to my surprise and shock, as I provided the chicken, I mean the chicks and the feeds, they were selling them down in the at Kasanga town center. They had already got people who were going to buy them. So why? Because they needed quick money. So it is still upon us as leaders to sensitize our people. But like I've already said, the government is already doing that through the sensitization of the PDM, through the sensitization of Emioga, teaching our people how to save. But in addition, I've already talked about the hubs. You see what is happening in Kampala. His Excellency the President has brought up a presidential initiative on the girl child, and not only girls are involved in this, and all this is helping to to tickle them, to help them appreciate that it is not only about going to get a job, of becoming an RDC or being in an office, but you can be able to create your own job and make a contribution to the country. But of course, I should also say that there are challenges. We've had challenges as a party because you know very well that we have been we are in a manifesto, checking our manifesto, how far we've gone with our manifesto. It's the manifesto week. But of course there are challenges. I cannot say, and I believe the ministers have pointed it out clearly, we cannot say we up to now we have implemented 100% yet. Not yet. Or
of course, it's just 2 years down.
Of course, it is 2 years down the road, but of course, you would agree with me, and the viewers will also agree with me, that when it comes to electioneering time, by 2025, people will already be asking how far we've gone and what we have done. And of course, as a party, we are interested in seeing that we try to, by 2025, we must have gone a very long distance in as far as implementation of the manifesto is concerned. But some of the challenges we have seen, there is an issue of course, of insufficient resources. Okay. Because I know the government would have loved to do everything. But one of the challenges our government is facing is, resources can never be enough, and they're not actually enough. Why? Because we had a lockdown of 2 years. We must also not forget that. And this has been a global problem. It affected our economy, like it affected the global, the globe. It affected us as a country, and of course it affected the people who were, paying taxes.
In that line, then, how do you prioritize what you have to do as a government, knowing that, okay, if you are a family, we had a problem last year, so school fees, meals, we shall avoid chicken, and how do you prioritize as a government?
Of course, the Parliament of Uganda has been working on the budget.
Yes.
And of course, in that process,
just previously.
Yes, in that process of budgeting, definitely they look at also. I know it's a big challenge because you cannot ignore one sector and say because we are prioritizing, then this sector must be rejected or ignored or given, it is not possible. So the government tries its level best. But as far as economic issues are concerned and poverty, helping people out of poverty, because when we are talking about economic issues, we are looking at production.
Okay.
And when we look at production and marketing, it all still comes back to what do the people do and what do they bring
to the table.
So that will help the country get some income.
Let me allow you to go back to the drive, the countrywide tour.
Yes.
So how challenging, how successful have you been as the Secretariat in this tour in Busoga, Kampala and Buganda?
Okay, first of all, I want to thank the Secretariat led by Right Honorable Todong. We are trying to work as a team in order to see that our mandate is done well, and we fulfill what Ugandans expect from the party. Okay. Because the Secretariat is the technical sort of team that helps to implement, to do the work of the party. But I want to say that when we came up with this program, we wanted and we want and we intend to do it countrywide, down up to the constituency level, because you'll agree with me, we have been probably meeting people at district level, and at the district you realize that they are the same people we have always met. You meet the DEC, you meet the chairman LC3s, those are the people we have always and continuously met. So we realize that it is important now to go a little closer to them, and we go and have meetings including the branch chairman, the LC1, the branch chairman.
Okay.
At the LC1 level. We are glad that so far we started with Kampala and we started with Kawempe. It was a wonderful meeting. It was a very successful meeting. I must say our objectives were achieved, at least from the face of it.
You see, Honorable, our teams bring the stories wherever you go.
I agree.
I see these people asking you very big questions.
And that is exactly what we want.
How does it feel when you don't have the answers?
My God, you can never fail to have an answer, because we are the government.
I mean practical answers, like now in Machinde. Let us take the example of today.
Okay.
Somebody asked you about the structures that are where people are getting discouraged. Another one told you, some gentleman was mentioning about how opening the gates allowed opposition people to vote in your structures. Another one was complaining about your members that crossed into opposition parties within the cavuyo of the primaries. Yes. How do you handle?
The answer was there, and the answer is clear. It's because probably there was some mess in our register. And that is what compelled our national chairman to make the pronouncement he made in regard to not locking some of our people out and denying them their right to vote and select their leaders that would stand in the general elections. But of course, from the guidance of our chairman, His Excellency the President, I want to assure you that many of these questions, I'm sure by the time we end this term, will have been answered.
There are those that relate to service delivery.
Those that relate to service delivery, I'm glad.
Actually, they are bigger than even the political ones.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because, first of all, you'll agree with me that when people don't get the services as they wish, and as they require them, definitely that is what the president has already told us. That what are those things that the legitimate needs of the people that are not met.
Do you give the president that answer?
My dear.
Like you, the team that goes to the ground?
Yes, because he's our chairman. And the work we are doing is because we have that leadership. So once we finish this leg, the first leg, because now this first leg is going to look to, is going to visit a few constituencies, we are going to make a report. Every time we finish a leg, we shall be able to present a report to him. And after presenting a report to him, of course, you know, we, as a government in power, we have ministers who are implementing our manifesto.
Okay.
The ministries are implementing our manifesto as a party. So if we see any gap in regard to service delivery, in regard to the implementation of our manifesto, we have the responsibility as a secretariat to interact with them, to engage them and show them these gaps. And we follow up. And in addition, the local leaders, the NRM leaders that we are meeting now, we are engaging them to appreciate their roles and responsibilities on how they can help us to move together with us and really confirm what's happening on the ground. Because let me tell you, there are things that may be happening. Of course, I know we have some challenges. Some of the challenges I may talk about. Take an example of the central region where the government, NRM, did not have leaders. The mayors are not NRM, they are opposition. And please take it from me. I don't think there is a stepmother, apart from a few, like us. I don't think there are those who may want well or wish well for their co-wives' children.
Yeah, I want to understand you. So, can a leader sit on a program?
Do you think, and I'm sorry to be very honest about this, do you think the opposition leaders now will appreciate, apart from a few who have shown that they are true leaders, not just because they are not in the opposition, they are in the opposition. But there are some opposition leaders who are in leadership at local level. And remember, everything comes from the top and comes to the local government. And it is supposed to be implemented by the local government. But if these local government leaders are not in government and they are opposition, would they want people to appreciate the success of the party in power?
How are you going to solve that? Because the best way now to counter them would go to the districts where the NRM is 100% with the leadership. If those districts shine with good roads, best hospitals, won't you be challenging the voters in Kampala logically? It
is the reason why we are now trying to revitalize our structures and remind the people of their, particularly the NRM leaders, of their roles and responsibilities. It is not about just being a chairman of the party, but what is your role as a leader? To be also, because they know and they can help us in identifying what's happening. For example, if a town clerk comes and says, we know very well that government sends money. If it sent money for roads, for instance, and the town clerk comes and say, we have been able to work on this feeder road, we have been able to do this. It is these leaders to tell us whether actually the road is there. Because they can say, Honorable, they are telling a lie. The road has not been worked on.
I want us to talk about two issues before they ask me to let you go. By-elections. You have been blamed as the NRM to lead violence and what during by-elections. I saw videos in the one in Soroti, and some of your officials were being blamed. We expect by-elections to come. How prepared are you to clear your name as a party from being branded that?
But let me tell you, and let me first ask a question before I even answer that.
Okay.
When the opposition goes through, there has been no problem. And when NRM goes through, then NRM has bribed, has ballot stuffed. I think these are things that we really need to put at the table. And
you see, Honorable, it is not actually about going through. Sometimes it is stories and with the videos and what. So how ready are you this time as we go for these by-elections that are coming?
First of all,
to have your name clean as yellow?
First of all, as a party, we are the ruling government. And I want to say, we don't condone any bad acts. We don't condone malpractice, any things like that affect or hinder a proper, operation in an election. We support the guidelines and we adhere to the guidelines by the Electoral Commission as a party. At least I have been witness, because I'm the national mobilizer of the NRM party.
What normally goes wrong?
Let me tell you, one of the things that, for me, I know, at least I have not personally witnessed the ballot stuffing you're talking about. I have not witnessed some of those things you're talking about. My work has always been to go and mobilize with my colleagues and the secretariat. And let me tell you, we probably in the past, we used not to win by elections as a party. Many people have been asking, how come that this time round you are winning elections? Because we came up with a new strategy. We realized that probably the secretariat was going a little late into the by-elections. This time round we said, no, the president guided us. We need to identify the challenges as early as possible and the needs, the concerns of the people. So that is the reason why, even for example in Kayunga, because Kayunga was an election in Uganda, if nobody would believe that we would win that election. I want to assure you, my dear friend, that we went and camped in Kayunga for a full month. Honorable Dombo and I camped in Kayunga for a full month. In all the by-elections we've had, we have been going there and camp and identify the concerns of the people. And we have been trying our level best to ensure that we explain, we try where we can find solutions, we do find the solutions, and by the time we come to an election, we win. So we have, in my view,
these stories of you using the army to beat people, what arresting opposition people, are they all false accusations?
But let me tell you, like I've said, the Electoral Commission comes up with guidelines. None of us, even us the ruling party members, we are not above the law. We cannot act against the guidelines of Electoral Commission. And because you are in the opposition and you misbehave, and you think the security personnel or the security cannot come in, so that is why sometimes we really call upon peaceful elections, and we ask our colleagues, whether in the opposition or in the NRM ruling party, we always ask our people, please be calm, let's be peaceful. Elections are for a short time. At the end of the day, we are one. We are all Ugandans. So we should not destroy the goodwill of our president and of our, our constitution.
The technical people want us out of here. 1 second about the PDM.
Yes.
Yes, we have had programs for the youth, which you actually said yourself that the youth still complain about unemployment, which is actually a practical problem in the country. How much are you planning about the PDM to see that it scores the goal it's designed for? In just a few seconds, Honorable.
Yes, of course, one of the things we are trying to do in our countrywide mobilization strategy as a secretariat, we are also looking at issues of the PDM. How is it being implemented? What are the challenges? What are the things? But as we are winding up, because I see time is not on our side, I want to say the government of Uganda has so far released 490 billion shillings, 490 billion, 450, as far as I know, up to in the last 2 quarters. Yeah. And it has given this money to almost 19,618 circles in almost all the districts, including municipalities, with the exception of Kampala, which is being worked on. But the question is, and we are trying to look at this, in every district we go, in every constituency we go, we ask for this information and we try to find out, and we are working with the local leaders to confirm whether our people have really gotten this money. And but the good thing, they have got it, but we want to confirm that what we see on paper matches with what is on the ground, so that we can be able to give reports, and we see where there are gaps, we can be able to mitigate them.
I was at Korolo at a funeral of the late Engola, and the president said he has been told about thieves trying to snatch this money.
How
are you closing these gaps?
Mm.
Okay. Honorable, thank you so much for all the time. Just a closing remark in a second as we wind up.
Yes, I want to thank the people of Uganda, but particularly and most of all, I want to thank His Excellency the President for the commitment and the love he has given to the people of Uganda. Whatever we are seeing now and whatever we are doing, the guidance he keeps on giving has helped us to do what we are doing. I want to really appeal to the people of Uganda not to blame His Excellency the President for things that go wrong. He has done his part. Whatever goes wrong should be blamed on us, the people who are working with him. Maybe we are the ones who are not doing the right thing. And also our people in the countryside, if there are programs that have been brought forward and you don't cherish them and you pick the money and you go to marry, you pick the money, you go to drink, how then again do you blame the president and the NRM party? So please support NRM, and our mission is to make sure that 2026 we win and we bring back the glory of the lost glory in the central region, Busoga and Kampala and other parts of the country. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Her name is the Honorable Rosemary Nasugu Gasteninde, former woman MP, Wakiso District.
And former Minister
for Primary Education, yes. Now NRM Director for Mobilization. We thank you for watching. Let's get for this break, return with more of the news.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
As different agriculture actors team up to commemorate this year's Extension Week, they are requesting government to increase agriculture funding as a commitment to the Maputo Protocol of 2003.
To improve agriculture production with extension to farmer ratio of 1 to 1,800 farmers, whereas the recommended is 1 extension worker to 500 farmers. According to agriculture value chain actors from Sasakawa Africa Association, nations of Africa like Uganda are still far from reaching the green revolution due to poor funding to agriculture.
We still believe the contribution is still low. It still doesn't reach the Maputo, but that is not us to make the final, conclusion on that. It is the government that knows why they have allocated a certain percentage to the agriculture.
Sasakawa Africa Association Country Director David Wozemba, however, is impressed with the focus of this year's agriculture budget allocation.
The budget, in its entirety, has again made a contribution to areas where we are, as Sasakawa, operating, especially at the parish level. We believe that the investment in the parish development model, will trickle down to the farmers as per the prescription of the government.
The purpose of the Extension Week is to generate extension policy and practice ideas on how agriculture extension and advisory services can effectively and efficiently contribute to the building of factors, resilience and competitiveness for food security and commercialized agriculture. With the Sasakawa Africa Association, there has been great milestone in addressing food security and mindset change in over 78 districts of Uganda.
Under regenerative agriculture, we are looking at addressing partly some of the issues to do with climate change. So we are trying to use the local indigenous knowledge of some of the practices that have been proven to improve soil health, and we are working with a couple of partners to make sure that these technologies that we take to farmers are proven.
Everything we do must end up with a market. Farmers must earn money. So with this, you see that we have also been able, one of the challenges that is facing the world, not only Uganda, is unemployment of youth. There are 78% of the qualified youth who don't have jobs. So what is Sasakawa doing in that relation? We have brought in what they call the youth business clinics.
Under nutrition sensitive agriculture, we also train farmers on post-harvest handling. We know that there is a lot of safety issues, the aflatoxins in the maize that recently the maize was impounded at the border.
As farmers strive to improve production, issues of climate change are a major hindrance, but the costs of farm inputs are leaving the ordinary smallholder farmer with no option of shifting from the rudimentary production.
While we are talking about the cost, we know there is also a challenge of access to those inputs. Now, what as Sasakawa we have been doing is to concentrate first of all on the access part.
What is left is mainstreaming the roles of youth and other vulnerable groups like women and persons with disabilities in the agricultural value chain. No doubt that Uganda will hit her development target by 2030. Mary Namkose, Douglas Setumba, UBC News.
As different sports disciplines rely on government funding towards the development of sports and talent identification, private sponsorships equally play a vital role. In Uganda, stakeholders like Plascon have invested in sports disciplines such as rugby, football, the national netball team, cricket, among others.
In a very beautiful velvet jacket. Congratulations.
We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you at this particular moment. Let's get back at 10 p.m. with a bigger arrangement. Let me leave you with Magezi Africana with the weather forecast report. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Catch you at 10.
Once again, you are welcome to today's weather broadcast brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority in conjunction with UBC. Magezi Africano is today's presenter. There have been a reduction in wet activities in our country, and when we take a look at the satellite picture, we see that the rain belt is scattered far away from our country, and moist winds coming from the Indian Ocean are bringing moist air into our country, which are being rejuvenated by the local effects and causing the kind of rains experienced in our country. Tomorrow in the morning in central parts of Uganda, we expect light rains in Masaka and Kampala. Nakasongola and Mubende is expected to have a mixture of clouds and sunny conditions. The western sector is expected to have a mixture of clouds and sunny conditions together with the eastern sector. And then the northern sector is also expected to have a mixture of clouds and sunny conditions. In the afternoon, we expect the whole of central region to have light rains, temperatures between 28 to 31 degrees Celsius. In the western sector, we expect similar conditions with temperatures from 26 degrees Celsius in Kabale and 32 in Kasese. In the eastern sector, we expect light rains in the similar manner with temperatures between 30 degrees Celsius. And in the northern sector, we expect light rains and temperatures between 30 to 32 degrees Celsius in Karamoja area. Elsewhere across the globe, we expect London to have temperatures as high as 22 degrees Celsius. Dubai is expected to have cloudy conditions. Nairobi is expected to have a mixture of clouds and sunny conditions with a temperature of 22 degrees Celsius. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Techno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3GB from Airtel, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100*5# to enjoy free data.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
In partnership with Techno. Stop at nothing.
If you get your money, the first thing is to have a financial plan.
So she was in a miserable state.
What
we contributed to her, her things were coming up.
This is where my journey started, from this building, and I was paying a rent of about